What's going on, guys? It's Modern, back with another episode of Road to the Top, still using the Evilto Groudon team I have featured in the past however many episodes. Um, Given the fact that I've used this team for, I think it's almost been 10 episodes so far. It's above 10, I think, now, but regardless, yeah, I've been using this team for a while, and since my rate of videos in the past have been pretty slow, I think it's time that I go and switch to a new team just for Battle Spot. I just want to use something a little bit more fun. I think that if I really need to get super good practice in, I can do that on my own time. Sorry. I just want to use something a little bit more interesting in the future. So I already have a team made. It's a really interesting team. It's not something any of you guys will ever expect to use on Battle Spot. So I'm gonna try my best to make it work. It's something that my hint for it, at least, is that a lot of people get salty over the team when you win with it. And yeah, that's the only hint I'm gonna give. But it should be featured in tomorrow's episode if I do release a video tomorrow. If not, then obviously it'll be there the day after that. Like I said, I'm trying to get out a video a day, so that's my goal. So we're gonna start looking for a match, almost to the 1700s again. I'm still sort of mad that earlier in the Battle Spot season, let's just say there were a lot of matches where I wasn't on tilt, but I was just getting so unlucky constantly, and I lost something like 6 matches in a row almost completely due to critical hits. And so obviously my rating dipped down. I think it dipped down to to 1600 just about, and then obviously now I'm at 1700s. We won the 2 episodes from yesterday, or sorry, the 2 battles from yesterday's episode. Oh, and I just realized my program is frozen. Haven't found a battle yet though, so all right, and we're back. Yeah, like I said, 1700s. Gonna fight Edu from Portugal. 1794 rating, so that's pretty good. We know our opponent isn't bad. And they're using the ultimate suck-ass team against my team. Okay, I'm ready to win this. I'm actually really fucking scared. Oh my gosh. Sorry, guys. Excuse the language, but I'm really scared of that Smeargle now that I think about it. Okay, so I think 99% of the time here, they're bringing Dialga, they're bringing Kyogre, they're probably bringing Salamence. The question is if they bring Smeargle, though. Now, if I do... the issue with me bringing Thundurus to this match is it means I probably don't bring Cresselia. Like, 99% of the time here, I'm going to bring Yveltal and Groudon. And I really want Cresselia, so I think I'm just going to have to damage out the Smeargle. Either that, or I'm just going to have to deal with stalling out Trick Room shenanigans, but the reason I'm not leading Thundurus here is because if they are Mental Herb Smeargle, or Crafty Shield, then the Taunt isn't really going to do anything, Thunder Wave's not going to do anything, and Thunderbolt's not really going to do any damage to Dialga, so I just want to try leading very offensively, as my opponent actually leads Salamence and Dialga on their own side, so this is already a really great start. Assault Vest Yveltal is going to put in a lot of work for this match. This is a matchup where usually your opponents can't really do anything to you. That's usually just how it works out. Obviously, Snarl is super, 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 like, in my opinion, I think Snarl is almost broken in this matchup. So yeah, I'm just going to switch out into Cresselia, I think, and then go for the Snarl. Actually, do I even care about that? I think I will just go for Hyper Voice and a Snarl. Because I can switch in... Oh, and they switch out Salamence. So if they switch into Smeargle or Kyogre, this is really good. But it's not. It's Ferrothorn. So they're probably going for Trick Room. But this is still a really great position for me. It looks like they're conserving the Intimidate, so at least I know that they don't have Smeargle in the back, which is really, really great. I'm sort of glad I didn't switch in the Cresselia either, because Cresselia doesn't really put out any offensive pressure against these two. Unfortunately, though, I do miss the Snarl against Dialga, which does matter. It means that Salamence can go down to a Dragon Pulse this turn. But I still think I'm in a really good position. Because I think what I can go for this turn is just a Protect with Salamence and then a Snarl. Because like I said, the Snarl means that Dialga actually can't one-hit KO Salamence. It was a really, like, it was weird when I was going through each of the matchups that my team faces. Dialga is really uncommon, but when I do face it, I realized in like most matchups I wanted to bring Salamence for the Intimidate, mostly against Landorus and opposing Salamences. Oh wow, and that does a lot of damage. They go for the prediction too, so I almost wish I would have just went for Hyper Voice, but now we know we're in a good position because Snarl's going to do some good damage right here. And it actually knocks Ferrothorn into Hyper Voice range, I think. And most likely what they're going to go for this next turn is just a... I would assume a Leech Seed and a Dragon Pulse, probably. And actually, I have a pretty good option right here. Or, no. Because Sucker Punch isn't going to KO Ferrothorn. I think I'll Sucker Punch Dialga. Because I think they're just going to Leech Seed with Ferrothorn. And even if they don't, I'm fine here because... Yeah, I was going to say, they're most likely just going for... Oh, wow, they do actually double into Salamence. So, that was a bit unexpected. I didn't really think they would go for that. Just because Yveltal's such a threat right here. But I guess that makes sense. They probably thought, oh, Snarl, I might not be able to KO it in one hit. But I wasn't in a position to KO Ferrothorn with Yveltal anyways. But yeah, I'm back in a good position because I can just bring out Groudon. Dialga is at -1 special attack, and let's see. They have Salamence and they have Kyogre in the back. I don't assume they would bring Landorus. So let's see. I'm going for Precipice Blades here, 100%. Dang, I'm already regretting falling into the just protect and snarl trap. I mean, there was really no reason for my opponent not to double target Yveltal because it was more of a threat at that point. But I guess, yeah, I guess it really didn't matter. I was confident that they would probably go for Leech Seed or a Gyro Ball. Yeah, I was confident they were just going to Leech Seed. I didn't think they would Gyro Ball, but that's completely fine with me. Because now I'm still in a fine position. Cresselia is good against... Oh, wow, and they just go for the Gyro Ball. I was going to say, I'm still in a good position because I'm going to have Cresselia out against the Salamence, and then I can also skill swap to get rid of the weather effects from Kyogre. But yeah, I'm in a really good... Oh, Dialga survived on like 1 HP. Okay. And he goes for a Dragon Pulse, so that's not going to do too much damage unless he critical hits, which he does. Okay then. You want to play it this way, bro? We're going to do it. Okay. So this is really sucky. This is really sucky. Because now my Groudon's probably in range of an Ice Beam from Kyogre, so it doesn't even matter if I set up my weather. And yeah, he's just going to bring out Kyogre. I think he'll Ice Beam, though. I think they'll Ice Beam, like, 100% here. And I think actually what I'm going to go for is a Ice Beam into Dialga, and then a Precipice Blades. Wow, this is a really dumb position. The Dialga survived on 1 HP, and they also got the critical hit. If they did not get one of those, then I would be in a really good position here, but I didn't, so... Oh well. I think I need to get a Rock Slide flinch to have a chance at winning, though. Alright. They actually withdraw Kyogre, so at the very least, I'll be able to KO the Dialga right here. So maybe they were expecting the Seal Swap there. So that's actually pretty good for me, because... Let's see. Okay. So that's good. I'm going to KO the Dialga. Rock Slide should do, like... 50%, I assume, to this Salamence. Come on, get a critical hit! Get a critical hit! That didn't look like a crit. Okay. Twisted Dimensions return to normal, so we're not completely out of this match. Yeah, I think I definitely need to set up Trick Room here. Okay. So, if my Cresselia can somehow survive a Double Edge plus a Water Spout, then I have a chance to win. If they have Origin Pulse, I think I win here. Oh wow, and they go for Hyper Voice, so that's actually a misplay, I think. No, but Water Spout. Yeah, that... Don't KO Cresselia, come on. Fuck. Me. Okay. So we got hacked out of another match. That's pretty unfortunate. I will say that my Groudon getting critical hit changed up my plays a lot, because what it meant was that... Yeah, what it meant was that my opponent could just start targeting down other Pokemon, because Groudon's in range of Hyper Voice, it's in range of Ice Beam, and so I had to play differently, because if I just let them go for an attack, I lost Groudon. So I had to conserve Groudon more, but... yeah, I mean, I didn't really have any other play in this situation. What I could have done earlier is I could have switched out Yveltal and then Ice Beamed Dialga. That was definitely an option, but like I said, I was in range of Hyper Voice and stuff. And then the only way they could have won is if they predicted me to switch in Groudon and then Hyper Voice plus Ice Beam KO'd, which it probably wouldn't have. So yeah, no, that definitely changed up how I had to play to win there. But unfortunately for me, my opponent got the crit. It's funny that I even said the only way I get punished here is if they get a critical hit, and then they get a critical hit. So this is sort of a trend I've noticed in my videos. I say, like, oh, I'm on a good streak. I'm like, what, I was like 10 or 15 wins in a row when the format or not the format, the season started. And then it was, what was it? In yesterday's episode, I'm like, okay, I had a really good lead and I got the Intimidate off. The only way that my opponent really has a chance to win is if they crit me, and they got 2 critical hits. And then in this match, obviously, I wasn't able to rotate out to get the weather, so it was yet another case where the critical hit mattered. My opponent did make a couple of really good plays, but I still don't think they could have won, even, like, despite them. But yeah, unfortunately, we lost that match. So RNG happens. Battle spot's really bad because it's best of 1, but that's fine. We're going to be playing against a big 6-ish team right here. It's got the standard Salamence, Kangaskhan, Xerneas, and Groudon, but they have Togekiss and Liepard. So very, very, very weak to the Trick Room mode. I'm almost definitely leading Kangaskhan right here, and I think this might be a match where I actually leave Yveltal, I think. No, it isn't. Yeah, I'm just going to go for my standard setup, because there's too many situations where, like, they have too many fake-out Pokemon, and so that just sort of checks my Thundurus straight off the bat. It forces me to go for a Protect turn 1. Okay, and they just go Togekiss Salamence, so this is actually not that bad of a lead. Because what I can do straight off the bat is just fake out the Togekiss and then go for a Snarl. And they're also in a really bad position if I can get a Trick Room too. And actually, I think I'm going to just switch out into Cresselia. Because it means next turn, if they want to prevent Trick Room, they probably need to go for Air Slash. And then also, I think they would also need to double into Cresselia too. So, Fake Out and Togekiss just prevents them from going for any sort of like Thunder Wave hacks turn 1 right here. I really can't risk that. And then I think Salamence is most likely just Hyper Voicing here too. So, again, I would rather prevent any hacks with Thunder Wave right here. At least try my best to get the Trick Room up. And then also, if for whatever reason they go for Tailwind with Salamence, this is also really good. And let's see. Salamence actually protects, so that's pretty good for me. And they don't protect Togekiss, so most likely they were probably just going for the Flinch Hacks, as they actually have Rocky Helmet on Togekiss too. So that's pretty interesting. Not really. That's not really a good item on it, but nevertheless, I'm still in a good position. I think what I can go for right here is just a Double Edge onto Salamence. No, actually, I should Double Edge the Togekiss here. And then just go for a Trick Room. If they can't prevent the Trick Room, then they pretty much lose because they just have Zern and Groudon in the back. And they actually go for Follow Me too, so that's really good. And they just go for Hyper Voice, so my Kangaskhan's definitely going down this turn after Rocky Helmet and Double Edge Recoil. So if anything, this actually helps me out a lot. And again, first game we lose to hacks, the second one we're almost winning because of them. So this is definitely really good for me now because I get the Trick Room up. And I'm just going to play it super safe. I don't want to have to deal with any Encore Togekiss shenanigans that I've seen before. Yeah, I'm just going to bring out Groudon, and I'm just going to switch out Cresselia for Yveltal. But that puts me in such a bad position the next turn. So I'm not really sure. Because if they do that, then they can just bring in Groudon the next turn. That's the main issue. I mean, they're most likely just going for Follow Me with Togekiss right here. Yeah, I'm just going for Rock Slide Ice Beam. I don't think they're that weird set. And they just go for Follow Me, so that's okay. Rock Slide will do a little under half against this Salamence, but I will be in a position where I can just Ice Beam it again and or go for another Rock Slide. And unless he critical hits a Hyper Voice, I'm jinxing myself. Unless he critical hits a Hyper Voice after not getting haxed by Rock Slide here, then I'm in a good position. Okay. Let's see. That's Groudon. I'm not going to go for Gravity here. That's a bad play. Yeah, I think I might... I have to skill swap here, I think. I think I'm just going to skill swap in Precipice Blades. Let's make sure these target the right mons. Okay, Precipice Blades. That's good. Skill swap my own Groudon. And they protect with Ments. Okay. I was thinking right there, they really have no reason not to attack with Salamence, but protecting just means I get a free skill swap off now. And I do connect with Precipice Blades, so now I'm in a position where I can actually just go for Rock Slide and an Ice Beam. As they actually go for Precipice Blades of their own. But luckily for me, I run the skill swap set on Cresselia, so that's good! And Cresselia eats its Citrus Berry, but I'm still in a really great position. My opponent really can't touch my Groudon at this point. So yeah, I can just go for an Ice Beam and a Precipice Blades again, I think. And the reason I'm going for that play is, yeah, I was going to say, they're most likely just going to protect Groudon, but for whatever reason, if they, like, try to get cheeky with switches, if they try to switch into Zern expecting an Ice Beam and then, like, a Fire Punch, I don't want to get punished because I'm trying to go for a super safe play. And Precipice Blades is still 85% accurate, so it's heavily in my favor that I would hit still. That's what I'm trying to get at. Xerneas, with its Fairy Aura, is going to come out right here. And yeah, I can just go for another Precipice Blades as well as an Ice Beam onto Groudon. Yeah, there's really no way for them to win. They go for the double protect. Ice Beam is definitely going to knock out their Groudon here, and then Precipice Blades is going to connect and KO the Zern. So, yeah. Or not KO, it shouldn't KO, actually. I do connect, though, so that's pretty good, but regardless, I still have Yveltal in the back. I still have a Groudon with Levitate, among other things. So, obviously, I'm still in a really great position. And, yeah, unless they have something like Grass Knot Xerneas or something, then I pretty much win here. And I think, actually, with Grass Knot, I don't even think that can KO my Groudon, so yeah, I can just go for a Fire Punch and a Trick Room. There's really nothing they can do at this point. Yeah, they just go for Dazzling Gleam, but it was just like I said. If they attack Cresselia, they lose their Zern. If they attack into Groudon and somehow KO it, then I get the Trick Room up, and then I can just keep doubling into Zern. So, yeah. Fortunately for me, my opponent didn't have any shenanigans with, like, Encore Togekiss that I was talking about. One of my friends that I actually met at Nationals last year, I believe his name is Lunar on Nugget Bridge and Showdown. He actually started using like a slow Encore Togekiss that it caught me like completely off guard every time I played it, and every time I face a Togekiss, I'm afraid of that set now. But obviously, my opponent didn't have that, and it put me in a really good position in the end. And that's actually going to be the end of that episode, guys. Sorry that yet another game had to be taken by a little bit of RNG. Like I said, though, my opponent did play well. They definitely deserved the win, though. They had a really good set of predictions against me, and then plays that I wasn't really thinking of that ended up paying off for them. However, in the second match, I was just able to execute my strategy with Trick Room. My opponent also tried to just avoid using hacks for whatever reason, so like I said, Trick Room was up, Groudon swept, and the rest is history. If you enjoyed this video, please go leave a like. Helps me out a lot, helps the channel grow. And if you want to keep up with all of my content coming out, as well as some of the things I will be posting in the future, like new series, guides, tips, things like that are going to be coming. And if you want to make sure you go and keep up with those, go and hit subscribe. I'm ModernGamer, and for the second time, thanks for watching.